Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang Dhammang Sanghang Yava Nibbānang Saranang Gacchāmi. Buddhang Dhammang Sanghang Yava Nibbānang Saranang Gacchāmi. Buddhang Dhammang Sanghang Yava Nibbānang Saranang Gacchāmi. Sadhu, sadhu. Sabba papassa akaranang kusalassa upasampada saticca pariyodapanang Itam buddhanu sasanang. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So what these words mean, Buddha's words, refrain from evil, do what is good, purify the mind. This is all what Buddha said. So before we go to purify the mind, what we call sila, we undertake in the name of Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and with all the guidance, we try to keep our body and speech erect and wholesome. So we observe the precepts in our mind. Take few minutes just to repeat from Panatipata in your mind in such a way that it is a determination that all wrong things that we do with our body and with the speech, that we will refrain and we will try to be maintaining this sila right throughout the meditation. Okay, take few minutes. As you say, reflect on them and go deep into it, especially the speech. The 4 ways we do all wrong things and all 5 principles that we have to observe to maintain it. That is gossiping, useless speech, lying and hate speech, and the 5 principles: timely, purposeful, intention, compassion, and the tone of your voice. Now put it into your mind that throughout that you are going to observe the precepts. Now we have to understand what is it that we are going to do today. Purification of the mind with sila as a base. So we need a foundation. That is sila. We take under control the bodily behavior and the speech. We bring it to noble silence, the speech. Unless otherwise it's Dhamma, we are not going to talk. And then we have to understand few things before we start meditation, because today I'm going to give you a full guidance meditation. So, first of all, we have to understand it is something to do with this mind and body. We have a mind and a body. They cannot be separated. If we separate, it's death. They live depending on each other, the mind and the body. The body is easy to see because we know the concept of this body. We know there's a head, there's the body, the legs, the arms. We know it as a full picture, the concept. And we know it as an anatomy, the pieces, 32 pieces. And we know that ultimately when we die, it goes back to the earth as earth element, water, heat, and air. Apo, Tejo, Vayo, Patavi. And no environment refuses, and it goes and blends with it. This is how it is, the body. There's no difference in any other material and this body. So once it is dead, the body is useless. It's nothing. So, what is it that leaves the body? We have to understand. This is the part we have to purify. So, our meditation is mainly to purify this energy so that there won't be another life, and the energy that causes, the reason that causes this energy to be born or to come to life again, we have to understand and stop it. So, this is what we call understanding what we are trying to do. First, let us understand what the mind is. Mind has few sections. We know that it has the feeling, it has the perception. We take things as concepts, perception, and then we have thinking, the sanskara, and we have a consciousness that shows everything and explain and put together and create the whole mess actually. So we have a consciousness which we think is the self. We always think consciousness as a self because that's how we have been training our mind, which is not right, but we have to have a clear understanding what is the consciousness. Consciousness is a conditioning state, vijnana. For example, vijnana cannot condition only on the 6 places that Buddha has mentioned vijnana will condition. Let's see where it can condition. When you look, it conditions in the eyes. When you hear, it conditions in the ears. When you smell, it is the nose. When you taste, it is the mouth. When you feel, touch, it is the body. And when you are thinking, it is consciousness is within the heart base inside. So we can see that consciousness cannot come into existence if we do not have these 6 sense bases. So from the time we were born, we have a tendency to feed them. So we need 4 types of nutriments to keep this body going. Even if you become an arahant or totally purify the mind, you need the 4 nutriments. Let's just see, because to meditate, we have to have a clear understanding of this body and mind. Otherwise, we can't comprehend what we are doing. So, if we take this mind, we can see that the mind conditions in the 6 sense bases. It is one kind of nutriment. For the sense bases, we need a nutriment to survive. First of all, we have food to survive for the body. we call kabalinkara ahara. So without the food, we cannot, from the time we come into the mother's womb, the food is necessary. Then we need the contact for the six sense bases, that is the second nutriment. We cannot live without the feed in the eyes, without feed in the ears, the nose, the tongue, the body, and the mind. So don't think when somebody becomes an arahant, all these stop. No, you have to continue feeding them. But the only difference that happened is the method we use to feed them. Now we use something called intention. We have intentions. But once a person gets purified, the intention completely turns to something called Brahma Vihara, Metta, Mudita, Karuna, Upeksha. So such a person acts so that no karma will be conditioned. So any other ordinary person, when we are feeding the sense bases, it's the beginning of karma formation. So remember this point very well. We have to stop karma formation to stop repeatedly going in the samsara. So what is karma? Karma is action. Action through physically, verbally, and mentally. Three actions: the speech, the bodily actions, and thinking. So these three we have to actually stop happening the way it is happening right now, because right now these things happen with an intention. So Buddha said intention is action pushed by intention. So anytime if we have an intention, good or bad intention, some sort of intention, then we are creating karma. Why is it that the intention comes up? Next question we have to look. The intention comes up because we have created a self here. The self is the one that leads the intention. So we have created a person here, mama. So we have created I, me, mine, and myself. This is what we call the self. We create a self and we believe that there's a self going from birth to death and from life to life. All sorts of wrong theories and views are there regarding this self. So the first understanding is the correct view of this self. So if you understand the correct view of self, that is enough to become a stream enterer. So we try to understand this point and proceed. So we create a self when we are looking, when we are hearing, when we are smelling, when we are tasting. We always say, I can see, I can smell, I can taste, I can feel, I am thinking. So comes the first self entangled. We cannot even separate. Who is it that is seen? If not me, we can argue. So it is like entangled, like the fire and the color of the flame. So Buddha gave this example saying that the self comes to existence as soon as the sense bases the object that's appropriate for the sense base, and when it gets contact, and then only the consciousness comes up and it creates the self. So the consciousness is the main body that creates the self, because we try to take things with a view of self. So when once we understand, we know how this self comes into existence. It automatically happens, and we believe that because we never looked into Dhamma, we just look things in the conceptual manner. We take things in the within the concepts. We don't go beyond the concepts to ultimate truth. So Buddha said you have to go in and in to see the ultimate truth, that is the truth, noble truth of suffering, to understand that there's no self here. So first thing Buddha explained is the first noble truth. What is it? What is suffering? He said there are two kinds of suffering. One is the conceptual thinking. We say, I fall sick, I'm getting old, and with the concepts we try to show suffering. We say that people lose money, they lose their parents, they lose their friends, and many things happen, and then we can create karma. All these we speak with the concept. So this is one part of the understanding of this self, because we take it from the conceptual level. So we will never be able to understand what is the ultimate truth if we don't go beyond this conceptual thinking. So how do we go beyond this conceptual thinking? So first we understand every time the sense bases act, this will happen when we start meditation, so we have to keep it in mind. Every time the eye contact with something, or the ear, the nose, the tongue, first thing is consciousness comes up, then recognize what we hear, see, and the memory comes up and give a label, and it goes to a we have three kinds of feelings: pleasurable, unpleasurable, and we'll say for the moment neutral for indifference. Neither pleasurable or unpleasurable, we'll give the term neutral, because it's easy rather than saying neither pleasurable or unpleasurable. So accordingly, we start creating five aggregates, five groups, panchaskandha. What are they? Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana. We hold these with a view of self. This is how the person comes up. So at this point, the first noble truth, we have to stop, because these four noble truths are connected to the purification levels, four levels. If you understand the first noble truth, you can be a stream enterer even by listening to Dhamma. So, first noble truth is understanding within you, oh, this is suffering. I am creating this suffering because I created a person. If there's a pain, we create the person. If there's something wrong with our body, we create the person. So Buddha said, as long as you create this self, you will not understand what is suffering. So if you understand your own suffering and can comprehend it and can get over it, then of course you become a winner, you become a stream enterer and enter the eightfold path. Stream means entering the eightfold path in a supra-mundane level. To do this, there are many methods. So today we are focusing on sati. We are using sati as the main object of meditation, and we are trying to follow the uh, the path that Buddha showed in Satipatthana, using Anapana Sati as the object, breath as the object, under four foundations of mindfulness, that is Satara Satipatthana, and we try to follow this path and then try to see whether we can understand totally or elevate this mind to a level where you let go this self and you experience the supra-mundane lokottara chitta, that is becoming a stream enterer. So to do that, certain things have to be developed. Let's see what we have to develop. First of all, we call them 37 factors of enlightenment. When we say, it looks as if, oh my God, 37 factors of enlightenment. No, 37 factors of enlightenment. The first four is Satara Satipatthana. Remember, the first one is Satara Satipatthana. Second one is Satara Bala, like Iddipada, Satara Samapradhana. So we'll see them in detail. Satara Satipatthana is developing mindfulness on four foundations. That is the body, feeling, mind, and all mind objects. Okay, see that they are impermanent, no self, and suffering. That is Dhammanupassana. So there are four sections to develop. With this, we should have an understanding, and we try to follow the path accordingly, so that one by one you develop each one and you reach the Dhammanupassana ultimately and follow the Eightfold Path. From there, we follow the Eightfold Path. So it is Satara Satipatthana. This is what Buddha explained. Using Anapanasati, we are trying to follow the instructions given by Buddha himself in suttas. The second one is Satara Samapradhana, which is very, very important. This means the foundation of meditation. So we paid our respect to Buddha, we offered the flowers, and we put the wisdom of light, the lamps, and we made our mind, we brought it to a very, we call it faith and confidence, belief, and we brought it to a certain level of confidence. So this this adds up to keep the mind in a stable situation. This is called Satara Sammapradhana. We don't allow any unwholesome thoughts to come in. We remove any unwholesome thoughts, and we allow a wholesome state of mind. Ultimately, the mind should be on an equanimous level, like nothing, no judging, nothing. You just watch. So this is what we call Satara Sammapradhana. So Sila is essential. Sila is the most important thing here. So now we understand 8 of them. Satara Sammapradhana, Satara Satipatthana, Satara Sammapradhana. Then there's Iddipada, the 4 powers. Like you have the determination and you don't have any like revenge or any sort of bad things happening in because we try to keep this mind in such a way we want only to follow the path, and that is actually because of virya, vimansa, like we don't have any bad thoughts or anything, revenge, nothing in it. So this is what we call the Iddipada. So these are the basic foundations of the mind that has to be understood, because these develop as we take different objects of meditation and go along them, using to remove the defilements that are troubling the mind and that makes us go from birth to birth in this samsara. Then we come to the 2 fives. Now these are the 3 fours we learned just now, 3 fours. And then we have the Pancha Indriya and Pancha Bala. We have to develop Pancha Indriya. What are they? Saddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, Panya. We have to remember all these are connected. We don't develop actually this one, that one like that. We do a strategy. We follow a method so that everything develops together and it happens. So we only learn this as a background knowledge. Without knowing this, one can attain Nibbana because the mind is purified, and that is what we should understand. But if we know, it is better because we get what we call actually parami. We gain by listening to Dhamma, we gain the necessary parami to proceed along this path. Then Pancha Indriya means developing five faculties. We have knowledge, okay? We don't have wisdom. So we have to develop it. We have attention, but we don't have sati and samadhi, the correct sati and samadhi, wholesome sati samadhi. So saddha we have. Saddha means believe in Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. Saddha. Virya means to keep the mind in a stable state. So we talk earlier also the same thing. So this is repeatedly the same thing being expanded and expanded so that people will understand. So Saddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, Panya, these all go together. Bala means being able to get any one of these faculties whenever it is necessary. For example, we get a question. So what is necessary? We need all five, but above and all, we need the wisdom to analyze and find out the answer for the question. So this is how Bala means ability to we master it, so that we call it mastering the five faculties. First we develop, then we master it so that we can get any one of them at any moment we want. Then after that, we have the seven factors of enlightenment. Seven factors of enlightenment. The seven factors are pertaining to the five faculties. Like it is almost goes with the five faculties. Only thing we have Preeti Pasadi, one extra one. We have Virya, Sati, Samadhi, Piti, Pasadi, Upekka, and Dhammavicaya. Balancing and Dhammavicaya. So these are the seven factors of enlightenment. Then the Eightfold Path. This also we learned. It is Sila, Samadhi, Panya. So now we can see when we come to the Eightfold Path, all these are within the Eightfold Path. That's why the Eightfold Path comes last, because it automatically develops into it. So first of all, we have to see how we are going to proceed so that all these things develop within us and we can understand what Buddha was trying to teach us. Understanding first the first noble truth, what is suffering. So if you get a clear understanding of this, and if you know what it is, and if you know how to handle it every time it arises, then of course you can enter the stream enter. So let us see how we are going to practice this. First of all, we have to see this body and mind. Just focus, take your attention to this seated body, and there's a mind, energy. Try to understand. There's a mind, there's a body, and we call it I, me, mine, myself. Okay? So let us first use little bit of metta within. So metta within means we have to see that this self, what we call this self, which is actually conceptual, not the ultimate truth, we call it I, me, and mine. May I be free of, may I be peaceful. We can use the first phrase. See whether it's what is peaceful. no thoughts, nothing. So take a breath into your heart. Like now, take your attention. Doing metta is you create a very pleasant heart base. That is the mind base. So take your attention to the heart. Okay? And with a breath, say, may I be peaceful. See whether it's true. Peaceful means no distractions, no thoughts, or see to yourself. We are developing metta within the heart. This is chitta. As long as the heart beats, heart is the base of the chitta. Okay? So we say, may I be peaceful, or may the mind be peaceful. You can use either one of them. We usually, beginners, we say, use may I be peaceful. But you all can use may the mind be peaceful. You know the idea, what is meant in this phrase. Not a phrase, but something to look within. So when you say look within, whether it's peaceful, no fabrication, no storyline, nothing, no complaints, no bringing saying that I have to do this, that, I have this pain, nothing. May I be peaceful. So you say, may I be peaceful. A few times you say, may I be peaceful. Then take another breath and join the body and mind together. May I be calm. To be calm, you have to join the mind with the body. May I be calm. First, may I be peaceful. May I be calm. Let the feeling go within your body like as if it's moving in your body. May I be calm. May I be happy. May I be well. Every time take a breath to the heart. When you say that, take a breath. May I be safe. And finally say, may I be free from suffering. May I be free from suffering. May I be free from suffering. We do it for few times. So if you do really good, you will feel a glow in your body, or colors changing in your the vision that you have after closing your eyes, or something really nice happening within. Oh, spread that energy to the world. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be calm. May all beings be happy. May all beings be well. May all beings be safe. May all beings be free of suffering. So this is the first step that we have to learn to develop the faculties. So we create a equanimous level in the mind. And then we have to take Itipiso Bhagava Arahan, the great qualities of Buddha, to develop the five faculties. So once we do the metta, we take Itipiso Bhagava in a different way, following each quality and trying to develop at least a pinhead of what Buddha has within us. So we have to have a clear understanding to do Itipiso Bhagava Arahan this as a meditation object. So what we do is we take one by one and we take a strategy going forward and backward so that your faculties develop with the help of chanting the Itipiso Gatha in this manner, and the mind becomes very peaceful and it becomes very calm and it becomes equanimous. So the sila is there, saddha is there, all the faculties are developing at the same time. And you can see how the 37 factors starts to develop. Okay, let's see how we can do this. Take a breath, relax your body, relax your mind. Now take Itipiso Bhagavarahan. I will say very gently, and each time I say, I will give you how to contemplate the great quality within you. They call it vipassana. Itipiso Bhagava Arahan. Take a breath and focus to your heart base. It's calm and nice. No bad thoughts. So Buddha was so calm and quiet and very peaceful every split second. That's why we call him Arahan, fully enlightened, no defilements, no thoughts, no hindrances, nothing. So they say the same phrase again. Itipiso Bhagava Arahan, and take a breath and see whether you can feel a little bit of this great quality. And say it backwards now. Itipiso Bhagava Arahan. Arahan So Bhagava Itipi. Itipiso Bhagava Arahan Samma Sambuddho. That is, Buddha showed to the world something called ultimate truth. Do I know even by words, suffering, cause of suffering, cessation, and the way. Dukkha, Samudaya, Nirodha, Magga. Dukkha, Samudaya, Nirodha, Magga. Do we know even this, what he found, what he showed to the world? Samma Sambuddho. The main difference of Buddha's teaching and all the other religions. We go to ultimate truth. Itipiso Bhagava Arahan Samma Sambuddho. Samma Sambuddho Arahan So Bhagava Itipi. Itipi So Bhagava Arahan Samma Sambuddho Vijjacharana Sampanno. Supreme behavior and wisdom. Vidya charana. Behavior charana. Vidya, wisdom. Knower of everything. Do we at least know how our mind state is right now? Take a breath and calm it down. Itipiso Bhagava Arahan Samma Sambuddho Vijjacharana Sampanno. Vijjacharana Sampanno. Samma Sambuddho Arahan So Bhagava Itipi. Itipi So Bhagava Arahan Samma Sambuddho Vijjacharana Sampanno Sugato. One who has reached the goal, Sugata. Understand whether you are trying to follow the path which he showed to the world for deliverance, for liberation. Sugata. Sugato Vijjacharana Sampanno Samma Sambuddho Arahan So Bhagava Itipi. Itipi So Bhagava Arahan Samma Sambuddho Vijjacharana Sampanno Sugato Lokavidu. Knower of the world. Do we know at least this Namarupa? Take a breath and see how it is, whether it's relaxed, and come back. Lokavidu Sugato Vijjacharana Sampanno Samma Sambuddho Arahan So Bhagava Itipi. Itipi So Bhagava Arahan Samma Sambuddho Vijjacharana Sampanno Sugato Lokavidu Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati. He was the teacher of humans, animals, and devas, and all the living. Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati Lokavidu Sugato Vichacharana Sampanno Samma Sambuddho Arahan So Bhagava Itipi So Bhagava Arahan Samma Sambuddho Vichacharana Sampanno Sugato Lokavidu Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati Sattadeva Manussanang Buddho Bhagavati. So we all call him Buddha, one who has removed all defilements and one who has purified the 10 perfections, and one who is with the highest wisdom. Everybody calls him Buddha Bhagava. Buddho Bhagava Sattadeva Manussanang Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati Lokavidu Sugato Vichacharana Sampanno Samma Sambuddho Arahan So Bhagava Itipi So Bhagava Arahan Samma Sambuddho Vichacharana Sampanno Sugato Lokavidu Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati Satta Deva Manussanang Buddho Bhagavati. Now you have to be mindful of your body. We are starting Kayanupassana, to be mindful of the body. We'll rest for a little while.